Hey, you made it! Welcome to my basement. I'm Lisa Dublin, a health and life coach, and I help professional and executive women to live, lead, and speak with confidence. Because you know what? Developing your confidence and deepening your faith in God is the best formula for an amazing life. So, are you ready? Let's go. Yes!
So Taylor, the owner of Mind and Body by Temple. It is holistic health and wellness. So Lisa is my beloved client.
Oh my goodness.
We kick her ass multiple times a week.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I have told my audience about you, Taylor. I have. I'm like, you're going to meet my trainer one of these days, because everybody knows I had my first trainer for a couple years, and then, he moved on. And then I found Taylor, just serendipity. I mean, we have to shout out Andrew Coates for linking us up. And then I saw just her physique, and I was like, okay, she knows what she's doing as well. I'm going to this girl. So Taylor, welcome to Basement Chronicles, the podcast. Thank you for being here. Thank you for kicking my butt. Yes, that's what you do on a regular weekly basis. So let's begin, Taylor, with tell us about yourself.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. And also shout out to Andrew for making this mutual connection for us.
I know, right?
So I want to say before I dive in about me, it's been an absolute pleasure having Lisa as a client. And folks, Lisa can do hard things. I can confirm.
Thank you.
And she's got an in it to win it mentality. So that is huge. So
that's just like you, eh? Yeah, that's just like you, though. But we'll talk more about that.
We'll dive into that later. So a bit about myself. So I've been in the health and wellness business line of work for about 9.5 years. Started off a private contractor trainer. Slowly from there, actually started working with The Good Life. Started as a trainer, was awarded top 9 in the Edmonton industry. The only female, may I add, in a male-dominant industry. So that was quite an achievement there. From there, took over my first club, moved into management, and then that's really where my passion flourished, is just the development, character development, personal training development of making a team underneath me. So always put things in perspective when you're in a management position with personal trainers. It's like, I love my clients, but instead of having my clientele, I had 150 clients, right? Because I kind of had my hand in all those pots. Bittersweet. COVID hit, and I had a team of 15 personal trainers working under me. We were just awarded top in Western Canada. COVID hit, gym shut down. Same time, actually, this was like 3 months into my divorce as well. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the universe testing me. This is it nudging me. It's time to launch Mind and Body by Temple. So I'd been working on it for about 6 months at that point, and was like, all the signs are here. It's just time to jump 2 feet in. And sure enough, Mind and Body by Temple was launched in June 2020, and I haven't looked back.
You remember when I asked you, Taylor, is your surname really Temple? Like, how amazing is it to have a surname that just ties into what you want to do with your life? Talk about that. Is your surname really Temple?
It is. My legal last name is Temple. You want to know what? It's almost like it was divinely guided. As crazy as that sounds, very spiritual, but it was meant to be in every way, because I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah, and I must say, like, even training with you, just feeling that calm, feeling that sense of, okay, yeah, I get to just exhale in a session. I think it really ties together. Absolutely. So you were just ready for COVID in so many ways. Adversity pushed you to do your own thing.
Oh, it was like, if everything could happen all at once, it kind of did. So it was, after being in a marriage, I was divorced. It was July 2019 is when we officially separated. And then COVID was announced, I believe, just December 2019 or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the first one. Or early 2020?
Yeah, early 2020.
Yeah.
So it was like living alone. All of a sudden, my job, gym shut down. Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Boom. You want to know what? This is just the universe testing me and telling me to take 2 feet, jump in, and risk it all. And I did.
Were you scared?
You want to know what? I think that was probably the biggest piece of it all, was like, of course I was scared, but it encouraged me to not stop. It was like, I know I need to work my ass off to make this happen. And it was a curse and a blessing, if that makes
Oh my
sense.
goodness. Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. And it's almost like the only way out is through. I think for many people
So
it's like, okay, can't stop. It's already bad. Just push through and get to the other
mhm.
side. Yeah.
Well, that's exactly it. If you sit through the storm is going to take you over. But if you push through the storm, guess what? Who's standing on the other side?
Yeah. Victory in so many ways. So I'm very happy that you did because now you get to train, people who want it. It makes a big difference to just have somebody helping you to achieve your goals in that way. It means a lot to me. Those sessions with you, I think just anybody who has a trainer knows it that this is your personal time, especially when you have so many other things going on. This is your personal time, so you take it seriously, and I do. So, remember I said, okay, we did have certain questions, and let's talk a little bit about why personal training, and in your opinion, what is the benefit of having a trainer? Taylor, have you had a trainer before? You had a personal trainer. I think, did we ask that question sometime, I think?
Ooh, I have had the full spectrum. So
Oh,
I've
jeez.
had business mentors, I've had bodybuilding coaches, I've had powerlifting coaches, actual personal trainer. No,
Hmm.
but powerlifting, bodybuilding, business mentorships, absolutely.
Oh, wow. Awesome. What do you think is a benefit, like the main benefit of personal training? What do you tell clients?
Ooh, that's a loaded question, and I could go on
Hmm.
for hours on that one.
Okay, Taylor. 1 minute, 30
But yeah, 1 minute,
seconds.
right? But I think the biggest thing is like personal training is sometimes we have this goal set and there's so much information out there right now. People know what to do, but I think it's about the proper direction. It's the accountability aspect. It's about putting your trust into someone and them being able to take you to limits you didn't think was possible.
Yeah.
That would be why I think personal training is so important. It's those days when you don't want to show up. You kind of want to stay in bed, but you have
Yeah.
someone waiting for you. And you're gonna go show up. They're gonna push you, they're gonna take you places, show you what you're capable of. And I
Yeah.
think that just kind of fills your cup and it carries over into everything. So I think personal training is so important.
It is. I'm nodding and wanting to jump in because I have such a tangible example of it from our relationship. So when I won't ever forget the joy of coming to you and saying, just Apostle, that, I really want to be a marathon runner. I really want to run. I want to run longer and faster. And what I loved was just the way that it's almost like you took the desire and cherished it to the point
Mhm.
where one Sunday or the Friday before the Sunday, then you're like, okay, we're going for 13K that Sunday. Do you remember that? I
I
said
absolutely remember that.
yes. But in my
And what
head,
happened?
I was like, what did she just say? I'm running 13K this Sunday. I was like, yeah, like, trying to be all tough. But I honestly did not know, Taylor, whether I could do it. And I did. And it was just like, I think like in some ways, being a personal trainer is very similar to being a life coach. In a sense, you have somebody that you want to impress in a certain way, not like manipulate or to do it temporarily, but somebody who believes in you. Like the minute you said to me, I could do 13K, I felt a little shaky, but I was like, if she thinks I can do it, I probably can. And I feel like that is so important, like in a trainer, in a coach, to have somebody who believes in you. So thank you for that. That's awesome. Let's go somewhere else. There's so much. So, talking about having somebody who believes in you, also somebody who looks up to you. You guys, Taylor is a long distance runner. Am I saying it right? Like, tell them about this recent, long, very long run
Okay,
that
so I need
you.
to
Mhm.
I need to preface this. So I am like my anatomy. I've played competitive sports for over 15 plus years. I've got the bodybuilding background, powerlifting background. So I'm an athlete at heart. My mentality is kind of just engraved into me. The past is, I'm going to say 7 years, but probably 5 years more realistic. I've gotten into extreme mountain hiking. So this is where literally think of like Christopher Columbus. You're exploring uncharted territory. Like you may have been yourself, the group that you're with, and one other group that has hiked this mountain this year, right?
Sorry, did you
But
say Christopher Columbus? No, no, no. Wait,
I did.
what do you know about Christopher Columbus? That's from my part of the world, isn't it? What do you know about Christopher Columbus? No, seriously. Hey? Do you know about him?
That's all parts of the world. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know he went to other parts. He came to the Caribbean, right? That's how we know about him.
Oh, I didn't know it was the Caribbean, but
Yes.
all right.
Oh my goodness. Okay, that's cleared up now.
But now you know who I'm talking about. Now you kind of can put it in
absolutely.
perspective. It's good.
So does the
And-
audience.
Yeah, which is great. And then, so then last year I started doing it competitively. So it's called a relay. So you have, I want to say it's 100 miles split between 7 individuals. So every leg is a different elevation, which is up the mountain, and a different distance. So last year we ran third week of July, and the leg we ran about, I think it was 36 kilometers with a 1,400 meter elevation. But when we got to the top of the mountain, it was like 36 degrees. It was scorching.
Oh my
So-
goodness. That
Right.
sounds like Caribbean weather.
Yeah, you're used to it. But I didn't have the humidity, thank goodness. If I had the
Yeah,
humidity,
thank goodness. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That makes a difference, I'm telling you. Yeah. And then this year?
And then this year, actually just 2 weekends ago now, I was out in Kimberley, BC, and we originally had 14 people registered. We were going to run in pairs. And so everybody had a pair to run out with, right? But last minute, I think it was 9 people that dropped out last minute. So we ended up showing up with 5 people for
To
the
run the
100
same
miles.
amount of- Oh,
So I ended
that
up running
means-
twice.
Wow. And so previously, originally you would have run once and then it's
Correct.
in a pair?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that because, I mean, you told me about the run was a bit eventful because you lost the headlight and missed a turn. And I feel like if that were me, I would have just given up at that point. Like, oh my gosh, any little thing gets me off the treadmill, and in no way am I comparing running how many miles to the little that I do. But the thing is, it's the endurance that I admire so much. Like, what kept you going? Lost your way, ran up, ran down, did it again, and didn't give up. Was it adrenaline or was it something deeper that was like, yeah, tell us about it.
So always my mentality with things and like digging into my past, I've accomplished a decent amount of things and I tend to walk more towards hard things than the easy things. So this specific race was one of those hard things, right? Or harder things. So our first girl went out leg 1. She ran for about 5 hours. She had a 4-hour time slot, but she took 5 hours. So that went into my time slot. So usually I would have 4 hours, but now I had 3 hours, okay? Or I had, So then I knew when I started my time slot, I had to haul butt to come in early because I wanted to set our legs ahead in time because we were running with a gentleman who had 1 leg. He ran a mountain and he had 1 leg. So that was my mentality when I went out for my first time was like, Taylor, you need to haul butt so you can make it as easy as possible, given the circumstances for the guy with 1 leg. So he had 7.5 hours to run his leg. He absolutely crushed it. It came in, I think it was just over 3.5 hours.
What?
Okay. But I needed to make sure that he had that buffer. So that was my mentality when I went out the first time was like, this incredible human needs to finish, but he needs to have a decent amount of time to finish in. He ended up absolutely crushing it anyways. So that was my mentality when I went out the first time. And then the second time, it was just before 2 a.m. and I head out on my thing and I go, my headlamp dies like 10 minutes into my run and I miss a sign. So I'm supposed to turn left, but my headlamp died probably right before that sign. And there was several other signs pointing straight up. So I just followed them straight up. An hour of running straight up. The girls are calling me. Taylor, you're off trail. You're an hour off trail.
So did you see the notifications after you'd gone up the mountain or you were able to access and understand what was going on while you were lost? Did you see it after you had...
Oh, I didn't think I was lost. That was the issue.
Goodness. Yeah. It's
So
probably a
every
good
leg-
thing.
Well, every leg you run, because there's the 6 different legs here in the one that I just ran, they all have different arrows and different signs. So I was on a trail, I just wasn't on the right trail for my leg.
Yeah. Wow.
So I was still seeing the signs, but it was pitch black, so I just assumed.
I saw your pictures, some of the pictures that you posted, and it just seemed so nice running under the skylight. And then you even saw a fox, was it? There was a fox that you saw along the way and you stopped and took a photo. Is that it?
Absolutely. I was like, okay, this is going to be one of two things. There's a set of eyes staring at me and they're glowing. Let's take the phone out. Let's see what I'm looking at. And sure enough, it was a deer, thank goodness. But
A deer. Okay, good. That's
yeah.
good. That's good. Oh my. So I asked you a question yesterday about the run, about giving up. And I wanted to ask it again because I just loved the answer that you gave. Like, did you ever think of giving up, of having to run this again? Why did you not stop? Like, why did you not give up and say, like, I'm done? What was the thinking behind that?
Right. So after I ran the wrong way for an hour, I actually had to run all the way back down for an hour,
Oh my God.
get a new headlamp, and then restart the race. I think it was like just before 4 a.m. at this point. So the biggest thing, the easy thing would have been, I'm done. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was not an option for me because you want to know what, if a man with a prosthetic leg can complete this, there's
Yeah.
no excuse for a fully abled body not to, right?
Yeah.
And
Wow. I
you have
love
to
that.
well, yeah, and you have to take in consideration you have everyone that ran before you that got to that point that completed it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like now you have the weight of the team on you. You need to cross that line.
Yeah, I understand what you mean about it not being an option. You know what? I think even if there hadn't been the man that you met with the prosthetic, I think you'd have still finished the race. It's just
Absolutely, I
grit.
would have. Yeah,
It's
that's
just
exactly
grit,
what it
isn't
is.
it?
It's
Yeah,
mentality. And you know what? It's, hey, I'm fully capable. There's
yeah,
no reason besides me being uncomfortable not to complete that race.
yeah.
You know,
I
there was
love
no
that.
injury, there was no danger, not high risk. There was no reason why I couldn't finish. So it was like, I was not going to give up. Let's go for it.
I love that about you. I just absolutely love that. So that brings me to that other question that we were talking about yesterday. The question of what does a coach offer somebody? You know, like, okay, so for example, Taylor, would you have been training if you yourself had maybe weight issues or didn't have that part of your life under control? Because I'm saying to myself, it's so easy to trust you to train me because I see what you're doing in your life. And I feel like in the same way with life coaching, it's the same way that people come to you because you're good at a certain thing. You can help them, listen to them, perhaps to get to the same result or to get to a result that you promised them, right? So in your opinion, how important do you think it is to model what you want to teach? And would you go to somebody who didn't if you were looking for a trainer or coach or that kind of thing? Long-winded question. Sorry about that.
No, I love it. No, that was a good question. Because you want to know
Thank
what the
you.
reality is, like, we don't talk about that enough. And,
Yeah.
and like yesterday, you shared a few things that you overcame and kind of what
Yeah.
made you want to be a life coach. And I do feel, especially life coach, trainer, any kind of coach within the industry, is like you need to have a good story. You need to have a life testimonial
Yeah.
that you have overcome something. In my opinion, I always say my mentality when it comes to hiring coaches, when it comes to hiring professionals, is like, if you aren't where I want to be, or if you haven't overcome something that I'm currently facing, we will not align, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have the experience to take me to where I want to go, then unfortunately, you're probably not the person for me.
Yeah, I like that. And there's always this thing with business. They tell you that you might not be able to help everybody. If you're at a 3, you can help a 2. If you're at a 5, you can help a 4. So if you're at a 5, you can help somebody who's at 4, 3, 2, 1. And then if you're at a 2, you can help a 1. So you can always help depending on your experience and where you are. It's just sometimes I think that people, coaches, trainers, whatever, can promise things that they themselves don't even know and don't model and mess people up. So we don't want to do that.
Right. And you want to know what? Like, don't take what I said out of, definitely please don't take what I said as an insult or out of context there.
No.
That's my specific view. Like if I were hiring a trainer or anything.
Yep, me too.
I honestly believe that everybody has value to add some way in another to people. But if I were personally to hire someone, that's my mentality.
I mean, let's face it. You don't want to waste your money, right? You don't want, if you want to train, that's the reality. You don't want to waste your money. So if somebody's just starting out, or get your ducks in a row first in that area at least, so that you have the credibility and the conviction and confidence to be able to take people through that journey. That's just my thinking as well. And too, like, even I come from the school of life coaching that says, I'm going to try to get you results. The results are on me. Whatever we need to do to get those results, we're going to do it. Okay? Yeah.
Proof is in the pudding. That's what I always say. Yeah.
Yes, I quite agree with that.
Let's see some action. Let's see some evidence. Yeah.
Let's see the evidence. Exactly. So I think, we're perhaps on the same page where that is concerned, definitely. I want to move to women and taking care of ourselves, our bodies is something else we talk a lot about. What are your thoughts on that, and best tips for women taking care of themselves?
Okay, I love this. So now I'm going to take a bit of a different direction to answer this question. Hopefully you're okay with that.
Sure.
But kind of why I do what I do is I do Mind and Body by Temple, holistic health and wellness. So when I was very young, like as of the age 8, my mom got really sick. Okay. She suffered from addictions, alcoholism, and then the whole mental aspect kind of came into the picture. And at a very young age, I watched her get pretty sick and her life just kind of fell apart. Okay. From that is extremely deep rooted for me as to what I do, because I have seen and firsthand, I don't want to say a victim, but experienced what it's like to have someone not fully capable be in your life because they're not capable, because they never took care of themselves. So like that has always been my why behind Mind and Body by Temple. Is like, you are your greatest investment, because I can see and I've experienced firsthand what happens when you don't take care of yourself, right? So like that is why Mind and Body by Temple is so important to me. I also have a psychology background, so I tie all of that in for more holistic wellness approach. And like now I specifically work with, I do pain-free movement and then weight loss, really focusing on women and their health. And that is my heart, my soul. That's where my passion comes from. And it's so important for women to make themselves a priority, because the reality is, I think society is getting a bit better, but it never used to be like that, right? Women weren't allowed to take care of themselves. They weren't allowed to make themselves a priority. And we still feel obligated to take care of everyone around us, right? And sometimes we put ourselves at the bottom of the list. And unfortunately, especially post-COVID, you see that affects our mental health. That affects just our overall wellness. So that is my motive. It's like women need to take care of themselves because we are these powerful beings. We are fully capable. We just need to make ourselves a priority.
Okay. So what would you say to a woman who comes to you and she wants to, but it just seems she has no time and everything's upon her? What's your approach to somebody like that who's looking to change but doesn't even know where to start? Like the thinking is not even there.
You want to know what? And that's when the coach comes in. It's like you need to find someone, who has evidence. They need to have client testimonials. They need to have photos. They need to have the experience to back what you want to achieve. Okay? Reach out to a coach, because you don't have to do it alone. And once again, there's so much information out there that you don't have to make it overwhelming. Baby steps. We're not going 0 to 100. We're going 10 to 20. We're going 20 to 30, right?
That makes a lot of sense. Oh my goodness, is our time up already, Taylor? I think it's about is. Oh my goodness, there's so much to talk about, but I really wanted my audience to meet you. We have a couple minutes. Any parting words for the audience? There's a question that I want to do, like, do you know this guy, Stephen Bartlett? He has this YouTube channel that's very popular. Like, he's up like to 7 million views and 7 million subscribers. Yeah. So he has this thing where he always asks some really deep questions. And the coaching me is like, really yeah. So I'm like, I know he's great at what he does, but the coaching me is like, who's coaching him? because he had to have sat through those kinds of questions and processes to be that person. I'm like, who's his coach? The coach is the the goat there.
He's done some deep psychology is what he's done. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's good. He asks these deep questions and very strategic. So there's something that he always does at the end where the previous guest leaves a question for the next guest. So I'm like, with these kinds of videos, I want to do something like that. And I think I always want to ask the question of a guest, like, what are you about? So if somebody were to sit back and kind of look at your life and stitch a thread through it all, what's the story that they would say? Like, Taylor is about what? This is who she is. What would they say?
That is a good one. No, I love it. Please.
Thank you. Yeah.
So now what I would say, what I'd want people to say if they were to think about me is like, she is resilient, like she practices what she preaches. She is the poster perfect woman of you are your greatest investment. That's what I would probably want people to say is like, no matter the circumstances, she made herself a priority. And I think that's a big thing.
I like it. I can see that.
Does that answer the question?
It absolutely does. I think I'm going to keep it. I think I'm going to, every guest, I think I'll ask that question. Because
that is a good one.
Yeah, it's because it's just from the whole aspect of like, you sit back and you have pieces of a person's life. And when you put them together, they do tell a story. If you take the time to take the long view. So that's what it was about. So thank you for being my first guest and to have given such an awesome answer to that question and all of the others. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Lisa. This was fun.
Oh my gosh, I feel like, we're having a kumbaya moment. Do you know what that is? You guys, I'm teaching Taylor some soca music, right? We're talking about Caribbean stuff. Taylor, last thing, so we can end on a very high note. Remember when we were asking each other, like, did you have a BBL? Oh my God. These are the cross-cultural things that happen, and I'm so happy for them because it just shows humanity. Well, no, we didn't. Not you, not me.
No, this is all real. All right, these asks are all real.
Oh my gosh, you heard her, right? Thank you so much for being here. Oh my goodness, that was fun. That was fun. And by the way, like, you're my first female trainer, and I think I said that too on the podcast. I had a male trainer before, and it's so different having a female trainer, different in good ways and in surprising ways that I didn't expect. Like, the number one thing is just the level of comfort, with my body. And
the conversations we have, right? Like, we got Lisa just started on her running program. The first thing that I think I said to her is like, yeah, you're going to be sore the first times you go out, and just want to give you the heads up. The first thing that goes is
boobs.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just being honest. Just want to preface this. Just give me the heads up. Yeah.
And no shame, no awkwardness.
Absolutely not. It's like, that's just reality.
Yeah. I'm happy Andrew connected us and looking forward to many more months doing this and you kicking my butt into shape. But it's working. Thank you. Okay. So thank you, Taylor, for taking the time to be on Basement Chronicles Live. And my guess, I'm hoping that my audience they're going to send all the nice things, and I'll let you know all of the comments that they say. It's going to be up on Apple and Spotify.
Beautiful. Okay. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys, and see you in the next episode of Basement Chronicles, the podcast. Thank you so much for listening today. Now, I know that you prioritize your growth and success. So if you feel stuck in any area of your life, why don't you consider life coaching? My signature program, How to Get Unstuck Total Transformation, has helped so many professional and executive women to free themselves of limiting beliefs and habits, learn to love and prioritize themselves, set firm boundaries and stick to them, be more confident, move up exponentially in their careers, and become the best versions of themselves. How badly do you want to get unstuck? How badly do you want to be the best version of you? If you desire more, take the first step right now. Go to my website, lisamdublin.com/coaching and book a consultation with me. Let's talk about your coaching needs because the life you want is totally possible.